Hey Mia, thanks so much for hopping on and doing this with me today. I really appreciate it. It's so exciting.
Oh my gosh, you're totally welcome because I'm in love with everything you're doing.
Oh, that's great. So we're here today to talk specifically about Sacred Circle. Of course, you're welcome to talk about any of my work, but Thursday Circle, Sacred Circle, this thing that's been going on, born out of COVID. So I'm curious why you signed up.
Well, I signed up because I love your work and I was just feeling like, well, you know what? I was actually in a situation where I was knowing that despite all the things that were going on and balancing business and home life and my health and all the things, that I really needed to tap into my intuition. Like it was a moment where I couldn't forget that I had that, that is one of my tools. And I was finding that like my normal morning meditation practice that I had and like going to yoga, like a lot of that wasn't part of my life. And so as a result, I was ending up in my head a lot more than I was used to
Hmm.
living. And when you came in with your offering and it was like, oh my gosh, it's every week. And if I sign up, I have to show up. I was like, that sounds perfect because that's the accountability that I need to show up to my sort of heart and soul um, on a regular basis.
That's great. Yeah, well, and showing up for that date with spirit, right? Or that date
Yeah,
with the divine and the date with your intuition is what you were
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
That's terrific. And so, what have you gotten out of it?
So it's been amazing. So it's interesting because it shifted something really big in me, just in how I have done that in the past or how I've like accessed my intuition in the past because, and there are mornings for sure where I wake up and I get quiet. There are times when I know I need to get quiet, but I had always subscribed to this like wake up for 5 minutes every day and like do a like it was like all these like little things like every day. And so as
Hmm.
a result, I would like go, go, go. And then at some point somebody would be sick or like, COVID happened, there's something would happen that would take me out of my normal. And it was really hard for me to find my way back to those
Yep.
particular habits. And I love the model of weekly. Like I love having a longer amount of time every week. And I didn't even know that. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. And I love it. Like I just love that 90 minutes. And, I'm a big, like back when we could go to yoga studios, like that was the thing that I really committed to, more for my body. And I feel
Uh-huh.
like this is that for my soul. Um, and so it's so good. I just love it. I think everyone should do it.
Right. And you once said to me it's like a little mini retreat. So
It
as I'm
is.
hearing you
Well,
talk
that's the
about it,
other
I
piece.
hear that place.
Yeah, that's really important. That's the other piece. So I had this thing of like the 10-minute yoga, 10-minute yoga, the 10-minute meditation practice every morning. Like that was my thing. And I was pretty good at getting to like a regularish retreat, maybe twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year if I was lucky. Um, and so I loved that. Like that really filled me up. And I loved the way I felt after that.
Hmm.
And but I have a family, I have a business, I have kids who all of a sudden need me on the weekends. I don't know. Somehow I used to have that clearer than I have right now. And I just feel like it's like 90 minutes. And I do feel the way I feel after a 3-day weekend retreat. Like I feel very similar in my body and in the clearness of my head. And so it's just like, why
So
wouldn't I do
great.
that every week?
Right. That's so great. Why wouldn't we do that every week?
I do.
I should start going to my recordings. So, what are the three things you've gotten out of it? You've said some of these things, this clarity, or what are the three things you'd want people to know? Like, why should they come? Why would they sign up? What's in it for them?
Yeah, so it's really, it's interesting. It's really set a rhythm for my week. It's every Thursday and I do some work always before and then afterwards I find that I'm so tuned in to like what needs to happen next that my Thursday afternoons have taken on this whole new sort of thing of, what I can get done just because I
Hmm.
feel like creativity is just flowing at that point. It also just gives me, you're so tuned in to like really like the energy of the moment when you're so good at just knowing exactly what the whole group needs. um and so that really helps me for the week. That really helps me get from one to one because it's like, oh, like, you know right now I'm just needing to be grounded, or right now I'm just needing to be creative, or right now I just, need to get out in nature. And I feel like you're
Yeah.
really setting the tone for how that happens in my week. So it's really
Mhm.
cool to be able to carry that in. Um, and then the last thing is connection. So, which was surprising because I don't know anyone. Like, and I never, it's not like I talked to anyone in between. And it's not like the connection in there is to meet people and to get to know them. You're really like having people connect to witness our own things. But every time it happens, it's so powerful. Like I feel like every single time you connect, and I don't even know how it works, but I'm sure it's something magical and energetic. But every time it's like, oh my gosh, what that person said is what I needed to hear. And yesterday, actually, when we were in it, like I just was having this day where I was so tired. And so I kept sort of like, like I was a little bit more dozy offy than usual as you were leading us through these amazing journeys. And but the person who I got partnered with, like literally said what I needed to hear, so it was like, gosh, I could have just slept through the whole thing, but like they told me what I needed to hear. So it's all good. Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, there's so many parts. There's just, and I was just thinking, and then you do this amazing thing of like weaving together the words. I just feel like each time it's like a little bit different. And it's that the content is definitely different, but the format is also a little bit different. It just feels so responsive to the moment.
Oh, that's great. Well, and that brings me, I guess I do have one more question. We'd said
Yeah.
3 at the beginning, but my last question is, so who are you? Like, because some people say, oh, I'm not a shaman, I shouldn't come to that circle, or I've never journeyed, I don't know even know what that is, or sacred circle. What is that? So you said at the beginning, it's like yoga for your soul. I've thought of that, but I'm such a deep yoga practitioner. I sometimes think the yoga teachers will get mad at me because yoga's intended for the soul. So,
Yeah.
so what would you say to someone like, who should come to this class?
I mean, I
And
feel
who
like,
are you?
okay, yeah. So I feel like anybody should come. Like, so who am I? Is that, I definitely am comfortable with meditation. Like I've experienced multiple different kinds, right? Like I've been in
Hmm.
yoga classes that have meditation. I've practiced quiet meditation. I've, practiced what you teach in journeys. So I feel like I've done like a different kinds of things. So that doesn't scare me. Like I'm comfortable and I've seen the power of it. Um, and I love it. And I don't always make time for it because I'm a busy person who's an entrepreneur and has 3 kids and can't always make the space,
Hmm.
but can totally see the difference that it makes. So I just feel like it's good for everybody. And it's amazing who's in the group because, there's people in there who I think probably would consider themselves practicing, spiritual leaders. Right. And
Hmm.
then, so it's an amazing group of just connected people, um, who are just quieting their mind enough to like get really amazing insight. And so I just think there's not many people it couldn't be for. And if I'm gathering, just from what I've experienced in it, that no matter how, you know, experienced you feel you are, you're going to get a lot out of it. And if
Yeah.
you're new to it, you're just so gentle and kind that I feel like it's also a really good introductory experience too. So I feel like it really runs the gamut, and I probably sit right in the middle.
Yep. Yep. Businesswoman, mom, wife,
Yeah.
you know, and
Who
not
would
not
who
like not
would
like
go
a
to yoga?
rattle. Yeah, who would go
Yeah.
to yoga but
Who
doesn't like
would go to yoga? Yeah.
wear
And
rattles and feathers and
no, and I'm totally like not quite out of like the spiritual closet at all. Like I love the word magic and I use it in some situations and I don't use it in others. So, like
yeah.
definitely like love it and don't always, it's not my profession.
Not a flag carrying member.
No. But should be because it's so amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
great. Well, thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you in Circle,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, let's see where
So
it goes.
good. And now I know every Thursday morning where to be. It's so good.
Yeah, join us for the retreat, weekly retreat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mia.